It's the Only Fin show.
Shark. Sharks. The life of. The life of sharks begins with your friend Barry, a shark like you, relatable, not scary, and on he swims, and sometimes he remarks on the life of sharks. They splash and swim with fans of teeth and fins. Over all the eons the shark shape wins. But they will probably not eat you unless you have a yacht. The heart of every sharky is the life of every party, and it's part of the life of sharks.
Welcome to the Only Fin show. Thanks so much to everyone who liked and subscribed from our first episode. We really appreciate it. In this show, I talk to the Life of Sharks illustrator Sophie Hodge, and we take a look at some of the artwork of Barry the Shark that you've sent us. But first, let's get to the news.
When you wish upon a shark, it's shark news. What's the story in the ocean blues? Even though the comic isn't black and white like a newspaper, shark news.
A groundbreaking global study has shed light on the precarious situation facing deep-water sharks and rays. They're highly susceptible to overexploitation because of their slow reproductive rates, and that some species take more than 30 years to reach maturity. When asked to comment, 22-year-old Colton the Shark said, "You said reproductive." Scientists have been stumped by the strange behavior of sawfish in the Florida Keys, which have been seen spinning in circles until they die. You and me both, sawfish. You and me both. Professor Alex Ford from the University of Portsmouth has been doing research into the effects of record amounts of sewage being dumped into UK waters. He found that every fish they sampled had cocaine in its system. He discovered this because each of the fish really wanted to tell him the great idea they had for a new podcast. Marine scientists have published a paper on functional connectivity patterns of threatened species called Movement Ecology Determines Isotopic Niche Width in the Undulate Skate Raja undulata. And that's where I stopped reading. Marine biologist and friend to the show, Dr. David Schiffman, has written an article for Scientific American called Scientists Should Stop Naming Species After Awful People. The issue is that sometimes they name them after figures that then become problematic, like Confederate generals. 3 species that have been named after awful people include the Hitler beetle, the Ed Sheeran cat, and the Trumpfish. A few days ago, I had a Zoom call with my colleague and Life of Sharks illustrator Sophie Hodge, and I put some questions to her from our subscribers, which is a great time to give them a shout out. If you'd like to support our channel and our comics and get some extra goodies, including an extended version of my interview with Sophie, go to patreon.com/Life of Sharks. Sophie Hodge, hello.
Christian Talbot, how
Hi.
the devil are you?
I'm good. We almost never do this, the Zoom call thing. It's weird. We're mostly text based.
That's true. In the flesh.
I see you've got your Sophie Hodge art director mug.
I have.
I
Proudly.
have one as well. I have my comedy director mug. Ben has a musical director mug, which I sent them the other day.
When you say comedy director, do you mean a director that is funny, or the director of the comedy, or both?
I think the director of the comedy. I was trying to think of what to put on it, what it was least pretentious, and then I was like, should I put like, because, or just put comedian or comedy, or like, but director. I wanted it all to say director. What am I going to say? Content director. That sounds swanky, doesn't it? We have some questions.
Oh yeah.
From our we now have subscribers.
So exciting.
That is not exciting. I think that's marvelous. We have subscribers. Makes it sound
It's lovely that people
special.
actually care that much.
What got you into illustrating sharks?
Literally you, Christian Talbot.
Me, I'm the problem. Christian's version. I am the problem.
I never thought when you said you'd been writing some shark dialogues, this was years ago now,
Yeah.
and you said, do you think you could draw a shark? And I was like, yeah, I reckon I can give that a go, because I like doodling, I like drawing. I always carry around my little book with me with I did used to carry around my little book and pens. I never thought that when you asked me that, I would have literally drawn thousands of sharks by now in my life.
How life works out. I mean, I'd been doing those sort of shark conversations on Facebook for a couple of years before, and well, that's maybe 18 months or so. And then we met at the Melbourne Comedy Festival in Australia, and there was then we were out for dinner in London one day, and I remember it because you had just gotten a promotion from work, and had been drinking. You were a bit merry, and you were looking through your bag for something, and you threw your notepad onto the table, and I was like, and I, being a stand-up comedian at the time, I liked a good notepad, a notebook. I was like, notebook. I like notebooks, and I was like, can I have a look at this? And you were like, yeah, yeah. And I looked at it, and I didn't realize I had no idea that you drew then. And
yeah,
realized, I was like, you could draw a shark. you could bring my vision to life. We had no idea back then at all. This was just something completely stupid. I just thought, oh, I'll just put up one cartoon, and so Sophie will draw, and you'd be like, yeah, no idea it would come to this.
I know, I like a challenge anyway. I'm just glad that when I started drawing them, that all I had was paper and a black pen, and I didn't think to try and color them all or anything like that.
Yeah,
it would have been a lot harder. It's funny, the decisions that you make beginning, you don't think it's going to be my style now forever in this one comic.
But that's the good thing, isn't it? That you found yourself, like your style has changed. When I look now, and I know you've said the same to me, looking at the first comics that we did, and you were like, oh, so much better. And you are so much better now. You're like, fantastic. But at the same time, the first one, the joy, the first comic that we ever did, which was like the one that went really viral, and then has been shared all around by loads of people, mostly with our credits cut off, has to be said.
We should say this is Eugene we're talking about.
It's the Eugene comic.
Still
brings me enormous joy looking at the original one, and it was just it really tickled me that, like, when you sent it to me, I was like, this is just the best thing.
And there it is on the wall up behind you.
It is on the wall behind you. So yeah. So things really have kind of, and you definitely have a style now. You have a very, very distinctive style, don't you?
Yeah, it turns out. Who knew? I literally was just born out of the fact that I didn't have a lot of resources in the beginning, and I didn't have a lot of money to buy lots of art materials. I was just starting out with what I had, which was just the like drawing pens, pencils, and paper, and that was it.
Yeah,
you don't need a lot to start. People might not know, but you usually come up with the ideas of the dialogues. But sometimes you'll ask me for prompts because you want to write something, but you don't know where to. You got the blank page. So we work quite well in that way, I think.
You see, that's the thing, you really do, because every prompt that you give me, and it's funny. I need that limitation. I need a bit of somebody to go, okay, 2 sharks in the shop or something. I go, oh, okay, 2 sharks in the shop. Oh, I can think of something funny for that. But it's the finding it out. I'm very good at writing to a brief. So if someone, which and you're brilliant at coming up with the briefs. For what, at the situations, it's like, okay, well, there's a what was one you two sharks ghosting each other or something like that, and it was like, oh, okay, I can write something like that.
Or it
So
comes out of a pun. It comes out of a pun like the shark web. I don't think we've released that one yet, have we?
no, we haven't released that one yet. No. A couple of weeks' time, they'll probably get that one. Yeah,
Nice.
the shark with the shark web, of course. Who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something else to be thinking about on the train on my way to work, or
Yeah.
things you think about when you're doing something else.
Hmm. Usually, I get my best ideas when it's like you'll wake up to a text message that I'll send you at 3 o'clock in the morning, where I've had this great idea. Do you ever sleep?
You're like, hear me out, hear me out.
Hear me out.
Okay, it's like Godzilla, but then
Mm.
it's also like Stranger Things, and then I'm like, calm down, Christian.
It is. But we're very good. But I think that's why we work. And plus, you're very good at you put in some fantastic details as well. There's little subtle details that I wouldn't have said to you to do. Like, I'll give you an example. The one in the two sharks in the shop, and they've got the different cereals and stuff like that. And you've named the cereals with shark puns, which I didn't come up with. You'd come up with all of those. It was like Lucky Arms and
Cornflakes.
prawn flakes, and I like, gee, this is
I
just
had so much fun. I had
yeah,
so much fun with those.
yeah,
And when I do, if there is a bit of free reign, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna stick a crab in there, or I'm gonna put a pun, hide a pun in there. Like
yeah.
there's the sharks having a cup of tea, and then on the table is the packet of macaroons. It's like it's drawn so
Forgotten
tiny
about
as
that
well.
one.
Like, the most eagle-eyed person would ever spot that.
But you see, I love that. There are little details that people miss out, like when they're in the library and there's all the book names and stuff like that. And I love coming up with a book name, and then there's people go, "Oh my God, I've just seen this." They hadn't seen it. They hadn't looked through all of them, and then there's one that they get, 3 months later, and somebody sends a message, "Oh my God, I've just seen this."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's very good. Um, I have another question here from um one of our big fans. It says, "What's it like working with Christian?" I'm almost afraid. I'm almost afraid
Mm.
to ask.
No comment.
I
No,
think we've. I think
no.
we've just. I think we've just answered that question though.
We have just talked about how we work together. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where we're not in touch all the time, but when we are in touch, it's quality,
Yeah.
and we both have great ideas in different ways, I think, and that's what makes us so good together. Yeah, I think
I think
so.
a lot
Yeah,
of people don't realize that we don't live in the same landmass, and they kind of presume
no,
we do. So you're in London and I'm in Northern Ireland.
yeah.
And
So I probably see you like twice a year, maybe, like
yeah,
in person.
yeah, it's about twice a year. But we text each other. I mean, but we text each other every day.
Yeah,
At some point. I mean, if it's only for me to complain about something, or for us to whine to each other about stuff, or or to send interesting Instagram reels, or to
yeah,
suggest good TV programs to watch. I think
and
that's
news stories about sharks.
and news stories about sharks. Absolutely. Funnily enough, I need to find more of those. So yes, so basically, yes. So to answer the question, I'm a delight to work with. Uh, I'm an absolute delight. Um, what shark is your favorite, and why is it Barry?
Ugh. Christian, you told me that Barry couldn't use the internet. He doesn't
I
have
know, I
fingers.
know, I know. That was from Barry. Is Barry your favorite? I don't know if Barry. I mean, everybody loves Barry.
I have a grudging love-hate relationship with Barry, I think, because he
Same
is
as me.
despicable.
Same as me. I think he's despicable. I mean, I live with him. He's not obviously he's out since the evening. I mean, he's like a cat. He comes back in the morning. He's goes out at night. I don't ask where he's been, and but he's if you really knew Barry, you wouldn't be your favorite. It's not he's I don't he's not my favorite. Well, what is your favorite? Have you got a favorite character, or a favorite shark, or a favorite character of ours that we've?
Oh, I don't know. We haven't done loads of. We used to have a hammerhead called Jimmy, who was a bit of an idiot, who was getting themselves into scrapes, but he didn't. He wasn't around for very long. We haven't had
Haven't
any
had Jimmy in a
recurring.
while. No.
Yeah, we haven't had any recurring characters that have stuck quite as well as Barry has. And I think the charm of Barry is that he's a lovable rogue, shall we say?
Yes. I'm not, but it has really surprised me that people have taken him, that he's become the star of the show. It really has. It was you know, and now we can't get rid of him. Um, who's your favorite artist?
So this is, I'm picking this up because this is just right next to me on the desk. This is a version that I painted years ago,
Oh, it's lovely.
of the Great Wave off Kanagawa by Hokusai.
Oh, it's
And
beautiful.
I love the artwork. I mean, this is obviously a black and white version because I'm
Yeah.
pretty much monochrome. But and you'll remember I did like a limited edition shark t-shirt a few years ago with a great wave in it, and there was a little shark poking out of the wave, and that was based on that as well.
We still have it. It's still on the store. I mean, we had a special edition one which was in had gold.
As a gold one,
a gold one that we had.
That was
we still have a normal one. People, if shameless plug, if people want to buy it on our store, thelifesharks.com.
And is that, do you still do a triple color for that one as well?
No, I don't. It's just blue and white and black.
Oh, so there's still 3 colors of paint though. Yeah. I don't know if people know how much work goes into creating a t-shirt that has 3 different colors of screen printing.
And the arse, because you've got to line up the screens. You've got to have 3 different screens and line them up, and register them and everything, and it takes time, and it's probably way underpriced. For the amount of work that goes in for doing a single one, but that's what we do in the Life Sharks.
It's actually an incredible amount of skill that goes into making the t-shirts, because you just think, well, you know, as I can get a printed t-shirt in H&M for £5, and you know that's got all the colors on it, but it's not the same as having a handmade screen printed t-shirt.
No, it's not. It takes a lot more time, but you know, I think that's better than sending. I mean, we could, you know, you go to one of these Redbubble or those sort of guys, and they'll go and put it in, and a machine will do it. But something nice about I like since you know, before COVID actually, but I've become a little bit more handy. I've been trying to be a little bit more self-sufficient in learning how to do things, and screen printing was one of them. And so I like nowadays I go, why would I get somebody else to do that? I can do this.
Like this, my favorite shark jumper.
That looks great. And you know what? I made that 4 years ago, 5 years
at least.
It still looks like brand new.
The print is still, the print's lasted amazingly well,
hasn't it?
And it's quite weird because the colors that you chose, are unusual, because you do a lot of rainbow shirts, don't you?
I do rainbow ones, yeah. So
but that also just goes to show how every single thing you make is unique, because
it is. Yeah.
People get to choose their own t-shirt color. They choose the colors that they want on the, you know, in the ink and everything, and you can do the like bleach stuff on dark colors, and it comes out beautifully. Like, it's cool, it's amazing. And even if you made 2 different rainbow designs on the same color t-shirt, they'd still be different. They'd still have little differences in them depending on how much red, blue, and yellow you're using, and that stuff. You know, it's amazing.
The thing I'm most impressed about is that white sweatshirt. If that was mine, it would just be. I mean, there would be beams. There would be, you know, tea stain. I mean, it would not look anything like. I mean, I would wash it, but it would have gotten. I mean, there would be dog paw prints just like seeped into it. So I'm very impressed that you've kept it so well.
Thanks.
Looks very well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't the odd stain on it, but.
Have you ever gone scuba diving with or without sharks?
I have scuba dived. I was lucky enough when I was about 18 to go to Australia. I went to the Great Barrier Reef. I said barrier, not Barry. And yeah, I did an intro scuba dive. So I probably went down to about 2 or 3 meters, but it was
Wow.
quite intense. So people who go scuba diving regularly, like, kudos. It's quite an intense experience.
Do you have a favorite cocktail? Do you like cooking? And what's the ideal blood alcohol level for illustrating?
Oh, goodness me. Is that a trio of questions from the same person?
That's from Alex Henderson, our friend Alex.
Amazing. Favorite cocktail, old fashioned. It
Nice.
changes every few years, but I think old fashioned is my current. Just
Nice. Okay.
really nicely, well made, but simple,
I love an old fashioned, yeah.
delicious.
Made with what? Made with what whiskey?
I'm not fussy. I mean, bourbon, obviously, but
Bourbon.
I'm not fussy about the type of bourbon. I've never tried more than one, sequentially different types of bourbon. So
Okay.
I'd have to go to some old-fashioned tasting class and try all the different bourbons, find my favorite.
Yeah.
I've never had one I didn't like.
Yeah.
And do I like cooking? Yes, I love cooking. I do love cooking.
Yeah.
I'm very against food waste as well. So I'm quite often trying to put things together that mean that I can use up food that's in the fridge that needs using up.
I get you.
So, but not in a weird way, not like, I
Rice
don't know,
pudding and sardines or something like that, no?
yeah, not rice puddings and sardines, but yeah, trying to be creative about making sure that we use up everything. But yeah, I do love cooking, and I love baking as well. Baking is my first passion. But I can't bake every day because there's only so many cakes that we can eat in this household. But yeah,
you bake at least a couple of times a week, though.
I would say once a week or once every 2 weeks. Yeah, probably.
Because they look amazing. Your cakes look fantastic. You put them up on Instagram, and they look brilliant. And they're all gluten free.
Yeah, because I'm celiac, so I bake everything gluten free, and I make my own bread as well. Which is kind of necessary because the bread you buy from the supermarket is just kind of 90% sort of dust and chemicals, really. It's not very nice.
So what I wanted to ask you, final question, because I know you love to travel. Sometimes, like you were in Amsterdam at the weekend, and then you're like I'll text you and go blah 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 blah, and you'll go, oh, I'm in Venezuela or whatever, and I'm like, you never told me you were in what? You didn't tell me you were going to Venezuela, and now you're in Venezuela. So I'm always surprised. Like, is she in London, or where is she off to? So where's the one place you love traveling? You love traveling. Where's the one place that you haven't been so far and that you want to visit, and why?
Japan. 100%.
Yeah.
It's one of those places that I think it has an amazing level of culture shock that is it's like an adventure to visit, because I can see lots of programs about Japan and friends who've been there and described it, and I've seen videos, but I don't think I would really fully understand it until I go there. And I just think the culture is so interesting. I just would love to go and see that country. Some amazing things I've heard. And a few friends of mine have been recently as well, and I'm so jealous. I'd love to go and visit.
Is that next on your list then? Are you going to go?
I might have to. Yeah.
You're gonna go by the end. You're gonna go this year, aren't you? Yeah. I'm looking at you.
Maybe.
You are this year. I'll just get a text and be like, I'm a Christian.
Oh, sorry, even Hokkaido, yeah. And also some amazing art. Like when I talk about culture, I think about the clothing and the art and history as well. And I think because there's so much amazing comic book art that comes. I mean, I told you about Hokusai, like love his stuff, the wood block prints and stuff. So yeah, I think seeing the art would also be amazing. Plus, a place I particularly want to go is, I think it's called Nara, which is the island where all the deer live, because I love deer as well.
Yes.
I really want to go and see those. I think there's a rabbit island as well.
There is a rabbit island as well.
It's like such a strange, magical place. I need to go and see it for myself at some point.
The one place I'd really like to go to is this. It's out in the middle in the country, and there's a little village, and there's only one person that lives there because all the young people have moved away. And so, but all the buildings are still there, and so they have a school. And so this one person that lives there makes mannequins or makes facsimiles of people. So the whole town is just populated by these mannequins of people. What you got, like models of people that they have. And
Yeah.
it's like there's hundreds of them. This person has made hundreds of them. And so when you walk around, you go into the school and there's people sitting in the bleachers in the gym, and there's people, there's mannequins like playing sports and stuff like that. It's very eerie. Like you drive in and there's a bus stop and there's like three mannequins like sitting there. One's reading paper and the other, like they're like waiting there. So I just think that's amazing. And plus this person has made it this one person has just made it their life's work to make all of these sort of as a sort of a tourist attraction or to keep them company. And I just think, my God, the level of commitment to that is just fantastic. Plus I just wanted to, apparently it's very odd and it is very eerie. It's a bit weird. But I just thought, if somebody does that, you have to go, don't you? I mean, you have to. It's that much work. I mean, you have to go. It's their Eiffel Tower. It's their Mona Lisa. It's their, it's their lifetime's achievement. You should go and see it.
Well, that's it, though. I think Japan, it seems to me, is full of things like that. Stories of strange and quirky things happening that people just get behind, and I love that.
Yeah,
like such a different culture. I think that's what fascinates me about it. Maybe it's not, maybe it's the same, I don't know. Like I hear a lot about like fashions and music, and obviously it's like a very highly developed country as well, so it's a different kind of culture shock from less developed countries. But so you can sort of feel like, oh, like I'd be safe if I went there as well, like be completely safe. I can't imagine anything bad or untoward happening to me whilst I was there. But at the same time, this culture that it seems so different, I would love to get my head around it.
Well, it's been lovely talking to you.
You too. Thanks for the interview.
Yes. Hopefully it'll be the first of maybe, I don't know, a couple.
We might
talk to you again.
Upwards of one interview. There might be more. It baffles me that anyone would want to hear about the kind of crap that we talk about. But there we go.
I don't know. I'm hoping.
People on the internet are strange, aren't they?
They are. But I'm hoping that they will. I mean, now that you're interviewed on this, that'll give you the impetus now to actually watch the videos. So, still haven't.
You got me there.
You haven't watched the first one. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Just no interest. Why? Why wouldn't she? She wouldn't have. She just wouldn't have any interest.
If you're not going to do juggling or at least some hula hooping, I'm just not interested.
The last thing I need to see is more Christian. Right. Yeah. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Take
Brilliant.
Care. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much to Sophie Hodge for that great chat. Now, a few weeks ago, we asked you to send us your artwork of Barry the Shark, and a number of you were kind enough to send us them. And so now, we bring you a section we like to call the gallery.
I love this one. It's probably the favourite of all the ones that were sent in. It's got Barry drinking probably tonic wine, I would have thought. Buckfast. This one's beautiful. It's done in pencil by Liana. Again, it's just wonderful. I think this is probably my favourite of all the ones that were sent in. This one's a favourite of all the ones that were sent in. It's by Becky, and it's done in a Mondrian kind of style. I think that's really pretty. It's lovely. This one, the reason why Barry drinks, probably quite true. He's got the Baileys is really well described there. Probably my favourite of all the ones that were sent in. This is lovely, done in watercolour by Catlin. Beautiful. Just, oh, absolutely my favourite, I think. Oh, this by Chris. It looks just fantastic. It's so like Barry, it's so lifelike. My favourite by far, I think. Oh, this is definitely my favourite by Kadja. I'd love to have that on my wall. It's definitely my favourite. Taru sent this in, Barry Shark. Oh, really lovely. A quick doodle, I think, on some note paper. One of my favourite of all the art sent in. Barry doesn't know who he is anymore. He's having an identity crisis because of all the artwork that was sent in. My favourite of all the drawings, I think, from Valentin.
And that's it for this time. If you like these videos, please share them with your friends and like, subscribe, comment, and all that jazz. Until next time. Oh, I almost forgot. I probably should have done this at the start. You can get books from The Life of Sharks, t-shirts, mugs, and stuff like that on our website, www.thelifeofsharks.com.
No, you hang up.
No, you hang up.
No, you. No, you
No,
hang
you
up.
hang up. No, you hang
No,
up.
go on. You hang up.
No, you hang up.